William says, we sell stuff, boring stuff, safety supplies. One thing we do sell is cut-resistant clothing used at glass plants and on motorcycle riders. It does well on Google, YouTube, but not Amazon, ClickBank. Will this work? I think all of the... It's funny you mentioned that. One of my private clients that I worked with a couple of years ago was actually in the safety equipment business, and they had a fabulous business. It was $1 million plus business selling boring safety gear. And it's all about, and again, part of my job in that particular case, and something I would suggest to you, William, is it's all about, building your influence in that particular market, starting to become a go-to place, becoming a market leader in your particular area, so start, publishing content. How can you help? What are the pains, gains, and jobs to be done? Who are your best clients, right? So think about who are your number one clients, and that's what we did with this particular site. We said, okay, and it turned out that there were, in his case, I think it was oil companies and mining companies. And so we said, okay, well, who's your best client? Let's go and target those people. And the fundamentals of what we're teaching here are identical. The media may change. Like, I know one thing that worked extremely well was using, the Australian equivalent of FedEx, so that we figured out who the decision maker, who the purchaser was for the safety equipment, and we literally we actually sent them the Australian equivalent of a FedEx, so that who doesn't open their own FedEx, right? Everybody opens their own FedEx envelopes or packages. So there are ways of getting into that, but the fundamentals, pains, gains, and jobs to be done, don't change. Market influence, don't change. The 6 focus points, don't change. And just because you're in a so-called inverted commas boring market, it may feel boring because you've been in it for a long time. But for people who need help, for people who've been thrust into a position where all of a sudden their responsibility is purchasing this safety gear, all of a sudden you become an important part of it. And the one thing I know about the safety gear area is regulations are changing all the time. People need education. My accountant, I know, does a great job of sending out a newsletter every couple of weeks, just on stuff that we should know about. I'm not going to keep up to date with what's going on with everything to do with accounting, snooze fest. That's his job. But I tell you what, it is really interesting to find out some of the, things that are going on and where they can benefit us. And so I'm really thankful for that. And that's a way of touching base, keeping in touch with the client and doing things like that. So that would be my suggestion to you, William, that even though it's inverted commas, not sexy, it's a wonderful way of approaching things.